speaker tonight will be doing a speech from the Competent Communication Manual, project number 10, which is Inspire Your Audience. The speech title is After Our Last Breath, and it's an 8 to 10 minute. And then he told me on his intro, just make up some stuff about me. So you may not know this about him, but in 1978, he was Mr. Universe. And in 1984, he won the silver medal in weightlifting.
Very cool.
How's that for inspiration? Please welcome up Bill Jeffrey, After Our Last Breath. After Our Last Breath, Bill Jeffrey.
A lot of people, and maybe almost everybody, is afraid of death or dying. And they make the assumption that you cannot prove that existence goes on. An atheist says, obviously not, there is no God, there's nothing, you die and that's the end of it. Some of the agnostics say, I don't know, and then they say, but it's impossible that I'll never know. I disagree. You can have personal proof. Some of it's based on experience, not necessarily controllable. And I'll give you one of them. In 1994, my mother died. Now, 72 years old, she had been sick for a while, but not that long. She had a full life, and she was ready to go. She had said that. About 6 months later, I was lying on my bed complaining to God. Not that she had died, but I said, look, I have been doing this metaphysical stuff basically all my adult life. I said, I have never demanded proof of anything. I've had some odd coincidences. But the big question is, do we go on? After the body dies, is there something left? And I'm lying on the bed, not asleep, and it's like the door was opened. And I knew I was laying down, but then it was like I was talking to my mother, except it was Michelle, and we were, well, actually closer here. And my mother was with a patient. She was a registered nurse, psych nurse at the end. And she was counseling in a very interesting way, counseling somebody that had died traumatically. She was connected like with an astral cord. Her peace and love was going into that person, but there was no backlash allowed. You know, if the person freaked out, there was like a circuit breaker or something. And she said she was quite happy, that's what she was doing. We switch forward about 6 years. Now this was very vivid, by the way. I never had an experience, even on the LSD that I mentioned. Never hallucinated on LSD, never once. And then I had, I'll make this short, basically atrial fibrillation, which I thought was sleep apnea. And then finally, after my feet swelled up and so forth, the advice nurse at Kaiser said, get your butt down there. And it turned out, yes, it was a life-threatening situation. On the way over there, since I'm a guy, I drove myself. I didn't call the ambulance, I didn't get a friend. I realized I could die. Didn't know what it was, but my heart had gone bum, 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 bum. Feet swelled up. And I realized I was okay with that. I felt a little sad because I wouldn't see my nieces grow up. That was the only thing I felt about it, because of the experience with my mother. So, again, that could have been written off as a vision, okay, but it worked for me. I'm not afraid of dying. I don't want to be suffering before I'm dying. Second one, I was best man at a friend's wedding, both friends. And it had to be 28 years ago. About a year and a half later, they had a little girl, Danielle. 4 years after that, Mama was diagnosed with a virulent form of breast cancer. They fought it off for about 4 years, and then Mama died. Fast forward to Danielle, 18, goes to Junior Community College for pre-law, and then in the second year sends out applications to the UC system, 10 of them, and she got accepted on all 10 of them, by the way. She chose UC Riverside so she could come home during the week, but live on on the weekend, and live on campus. And they have a good pre-law program. About 6 months after she started that, I had one of the two most vivid dreams of my life. This was a sleeping dream where, again, there was the mama saying, you know, dressed in white, lavender background, shining, and she said, "Bill, tell Danielle I'm proud of her." Those words. I'm proud of her. So I couldn't forget that. I woke up the next day, I called them, spoke to Danielle. "Hi Danielle, your mom appeared to me in a dream and said she was proud of you." "Okay, Uncle Bill, thank you." Okay, well, I delivered the message. I don't know what's going on. 3 months later, I called Dad about something, and he said, "I'm just going through my desk. Did I ever read you the cover letter from the application?" I said, "What's a cover letter?" He said, "You put a personal letter on top of your application, so it's not just fill in the blanks." So it's, "Hi, my name is Danielle Kohler. My mom died when I was 8. I miss her terribly. I wish I knew she was proud of me."
Oh.
Now, I spoke with Robert about that later. I said, you know, why didn't she talk to Robert? Robert knew about the letter. Danielle knew about the letter. I didn't. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a letter. So there's an external proof that identity goes on, not just for a day or two, but this was 12 years later, something like that. And it shows that people are going on, they can, if they wish to, be aware of what's going on here. And if necessary, they can get a message through. So that's number 2. And a third, some of you heard that story before. This is new. A friend, Roland Whistler, he had been married with Dorothy Whistler 65 years, you know, one marriage. And he finally succumbed to prostate cancer. But he had been fighting it for, it was a very slow thing. He'd been fighting it naturally with Chinese herbs, and then finally it metastasized. Lived a wonderful life, wonderful man, a grandfather from heaven. You would want the grandfather like that. But he loved things, all things. And he made things. He was an artist. He was a calligrapher. So I got a call from Dorothy, but it was on the answering machine. It said, you know, Roland passed away a month ago. Called her back, and she told me, and then we spoke. I hung up the phone. And here's Roland inside me saying, "Tell Dorothy to check the rocking horse."
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Oh, yeah, okay, great. I gotta call Dorothy, you know, your husband just spoke to me. I called Dorothy back. I'm feeling sheepish about it. "Dorothy, Roland just signed in, logged in inside my brain and said, I don't know, check the rocking horse or the rocking chair or something. You know, I'm just feeling, I'm distorting the message. Okay, Bill, I will do that." Roland comes back in and says, and I said, "Rocking horse." Okay, so Dorothy, Roland said, "Rocking horse, check the rocking horse." Okay, Bill, I'll do that. Now, I hadn't visited their home for 10 years. And it turns out Roland had been working on rocking horses. He'd been finding them and refurbishing them and giving them to, you know, to orphanages and stuff. But his last project was a full-size rocking horse, full-size horse, and it was on his workbench, all laid out and with the prints and everything, with the blueprint. Now, I knew nothing about that. And again, the question was, why me? Well, because Dorothy knew about it. And it came through me, and also, she wasn't sure. Now, this was proof to her that Roland was still around, and also that this metaphysical stuff about life after death, or at least our identity going on, is true. It's really true. I can't prove it to you, but I'm going to say it is possible to experience it. And to me, that is inspirational. Because it says, number one, this guy, Bill Jeffrey, said he had this experience. Maybe it's possible for me that our loved ones go on afterward. And I can't think of anything more inspirational than that, Linda.